Well, President Trump likes to say America is the hottest nation in the world. We always agree. But when it comes to many things, of course, like the stock market, productivity, leading the charge in AI, right? We are sizzling. But there's a different kind of heat coming this weekend, folks. Of course, you've heard about it, the heat wave that engulfed Europe. It arrives on our shores just as we're celebrating our 250th anniversary. Now, this is the kind of heat that goes beyond making life miserable, folks. Look at these tables here. When temperatures start to head above 73 degrees, it impacts everything. Work productivity declines and then falls off a cliff. Sleep declines, learning declines, everything goes down rapidly. Obviously, we know it's very dangerous, especially in Europe, where heat-related deaths now are hundreds of times greater than they are right here in America. Nevertheless, in New York City, Mayor Mamdani has asked folks to set their ACs to just 78 degrees. He says that will help stabilize the grid. It seems defeatist, though, right? And not unlike the infamous Jimmy Carter fireside chat when he wore that sweater. Leading by example, President Carter wore that sweater and he implored folks to regulate their thermostats. Remember this?
All of us must learn to waste less energy. Simply by keeping our thermostats, for instance, at 65 degrees in the daytime and 55 degrees at night, we could save half the current shortage of natural gas.
All right, folks, with me now, Truth Social Senior Communications Advisor Katie Zacharia, along with a former GOP national spokesperson, former Trump campaign aide, Elizabeth Pipko. Ladies, you guys are both too young to remember Jimmy Carter, but his speeches, the Malaise speech, this speech, they were always downers. They were always like, you know what, do this, but never attack the issues, never fix the problem, and help usher in Ronald Reagan in a long period of prosperity. But here we are again, and I'll start with you. Listen, fix your AC, but that's it. No one's going to really listen to that, I don't think.
No, and the thing is the only people in communist countries listen to the government on how to set their thermostat. I lived in Beijing, and they would say, keep your thermostat at this level, and everyone would follow instructions. So Mamdani is doing exactly what they're doing in China, and President Trump has completely offset that with his energy policies, and we're not going to turn down our thermostat. I want it at 68.
This is something, and it's really scary when you think about the death rate in Europe, though. Per 100,000 being almost 23 versus, maybe 3 in America, less than 3. That gets to this odd mindset, and it's sort of the reason why Germany no longer has a great economy, why Europe itself is just falling completely apart.
It's very strange, right? Thinking about it here in the United States, that in 2026 we're having innocent people die because they don't have air conditioning. That's not a problem Americans could have ever thought about, but it's funny. This is what we're getting from Zoran Mamdani in his inaugural address. If you recall, he said he wants folks to feel the warmth of collectivism. They're about to feel it with that thermostat.
Well, what about this also in Europe? They blamed America for the heat wave.
Well, they blame America for everything, but unfortunately for us, we don't really care what Europe thinks since July 4th, 1776.
Yeah, that's a great point. Also what's interesting to me is they always point their finger at America. No country emits more CO2s than China, right? No, they're just the reason it's doing all these CO2s is because they're pumping out cars to take over the European car market and everything else, and they still can't understand it. All right, so speaking of socialism, right? It's spreading across America right now. Now, I know right now so far it's in areas where, let's call it low-hanging fruit, Washington, D.C., New York City, Seattle, those areas. The question, though, is, could it go further? Could we actually see it in other places that will start to surprise us?
Absolutely. There's so many people who don't want to call it communism, but socialism is the vehicle for communism. That is how the bait and switch. They get you to believe in socialism, and then they usher in communism. This is a tried and true thing. Right. And in LA right now, we have Mayor Bass, who is a holdout of the Democrat establishment, and she is being almost not overtaken, but she is getting a run for her money on Rahman, who is a Democrat socialist candidate. And if the Democrat Party does not get a hold of this, they will be eaten alive by communism in their party.
What is it, though? It's extremely educated, young, white. What's the deal? I mean, if anyone should really be proud of capitalism, right? It's like, you know, I come from a wealthy family. Capitalism works, but they're rejecting it.
It's actually incredible. It's those that have the privilege of being here and kind of reaping the benefits of capitalism that seem to be the most wanting to flip upside down our country and the system. And I think it's because when parents don't actually take the time to tell children why they have, what sacrifices they had to make, and what it takes to earn a dollar, they believe they want to live in a utopia where everything is handed to them. They don't open a history book.
And I will say, as a parent, like my daughter's older than my son.
Yeah.
And so as I was coming up economically, she's a lot more responsible economically than he is. He demands more or wants more. She works much harder than him. In my own family, I've seen this experiment firsthand.
Well, listen, I think those children, I lived in China, I experienced communism, and I think it is a very valuable education, not just to be told what can happen with communism, but to experience it and to understand, why is America great? America's great because it gives you opportunity, and you have people like Ro Khanna who want to tax the billionaires and yet live the millionaire, almost billionaire lifestyle. This is the hypocrisy of the left.
Right. Yeah, you do have, by the way, the first person to do that was Gillette. You ever heard of Gillette razors? Read his book, The Human Drain. It blows your mind. This guy went out of his way to be rich, and then he started spouting the same kind of stuff. I want to stick with Europe for a minute. America, the #1 movie on Prime right now is a movie called Citizen Vigilante. This thing is crazy. I don't know when you see it, the opening scene is unforgettable. And it's interesting, it comes the same week that we get this birthright citizens ruling from the Supreme Court. And essentially, it's a cautionary tale about not having closed borders, about letting anyone in your country. And I think it's banned now in almost every European country. But it's one of these things that I think with the next couple of weeks, everyone's going to be talking about this movie.
I mean, it makes sense to be talking about it. The problem is if you try to ban it, people are only going to talk about it more. We don't know what that's like in America. No one's banning movies here. I think when people look at what's happened in our politics lately, we know Donald Trump got elected probably first and foremost because of the issue of illegal immigration. It's obviously a concern for millions of Americans. And I think, much like the conversation, by the way, about the thermostat being turned down, when you tell Americans how to live their life, that's when they go out and make the opposite decision. I know a lot of people in 2016 who voted for Donald Trump solely because they were told not to. So the more we see things like this, the more Americans are inspired to go out and fight for themselves.
Want to bring up loneliness crisis. According to a recent research report from the World Health Organization, it's right up there with obesity in terms of death. It really is just absolutely. It's like smoking and diabetes. And I think we see it reflected. And we talk so much about relationships, and we're starting to lurch into a birth rate crisis. And I saw an interesting stat. Americans are speaking fewer words. All right? There's been a 28% reduction. So in 2005, the average number of words in a day, we used 17,500. I didn't know my vocabulary was that vast. Now it's 12,000. So I guess, Katie, the question is, if we're going to try to sort of, is this just part and parcel of the fact that as humans, as people, we're not talking to each other, so we're not communicating with each other? I feel like things could only get worse, not better. Right.
The medium of communication is now your phone. And so people are talking less. Someone wants to interact with you, and you're on your phone, so you're not actually speaking to them. But LAUSD totally banned screen times for kids under second grade and under. And this is the one thing I agree with LAUSD on. And this is helpful because kids that are addicted to screens at an early age are not interacting with society. And we have set up an entire generation to not be able to have have conversations and have decent communication because of screen time. So I think there is going to be this pendulum swing on screens and electronics with this.
I hope so. What do you think?
It's interesting. I think age-wise, I might be kind of that last generation that grew up without the texting and without the social media. So I'm seeing it myself and folks just a few years younger than me, realizing we communicate differently, we see the world differently, our priorities are different, the way we want to share our personal, moments and meaningful experiences differently. And I think it's very strange to see that happen with folks that I feel like are only a few years younger than me, but seem as though they grew up almost in a different country.
Yeah, if we don't communicate with each other, they always say in war, first thing they try to do is sever the lines of communication. So those who would love to dominate us, if we don't know and remember how to communicate with each other, we're lost, that's for sure. Ladies, have a great